Okay, I'd like to call to order our Human Relations Commission meeting tonight, October 10th, 2023. Our normal chair is not here tonight, so I wanted to make sure the rest of you were in favor of me chairing in his absence. So just yay if you are in favor.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Yay.
Okay, all those opposed? Nay? All right, I will chair for the meeting. Okay.
For the record, we do not have a current sitting vice chair because that person had resigned
Right.
when he moved on to another position.
Okay, thanks. Okay, chair requests staff confirmation that Kansas Open Meeting Act required notice has been properly provided.
Yes, it has been.
Thank you. And we'll do roll call.
Chair Grinter. Commissioner Kuchel.
Here.
Commissioner Mai. Here. Commissioner Tague Hurd. Commissioner Gary. Commissioner Jackson. Commissioner Rodriguez Ortiz.
Here.
Commissioner Modrow.
Here.
Commissioner Newell.
Here.
Thank you. Next, we need to approve our minutes from our last meeting, which was August 8th, 2023. So hopefully if you had a chance to look that over. All those in favor, or actually I need someone to move to approve those minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of August 8th, 2023.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of approving those minutes, say yay.
Yay.
Yay. Anyone opposed? All right. Thank you. Okay, next it looks like new business, but we have none under that. Moving on to public hearing items. None there.
There are none scheduled right now.
Okay, great. And so then we'll have administrative items, introduction of new members.
Yes, we like to take this time because I know it could be kind of coming in cold, and some are new, some are old. This is our first meeting of the year as we switched over, and we have a lot of new people and new faces. So I think it's a good time, just kind of introductions for, I'll start. Michelle Martin. Michelle Martin with the City of Salina. I'm the Community Relations Supervisor, and I'm the liaison for this board and commission, which we'll go over a little more in training in the study session tonight, some of those roles. But just to kind of kick it off on the introductions, and then we'll pass it to my left with the first new commissioner on the left here.
All right, Anthony Newell.
And a new commissioner tonight,
Yep,
right?
new
First
commissioner,
time,
first
right?
night, yep.
Okay. And then Kayla's not here, or Commissioner Tague Hurd is not here. So we'll pass it on.
Okay, Commissioner Tassandra Modrow, I go by Tess,
Okay.
and also new.
Okay.
Sherry Kushel, not new.
Okay.
Brenda Mai, not new.
Okay. And we've missed a couple too, name tags in here, and they'll be introduced next time, but best for last.
Commissioner Arnaldo Rodriguez, and this is my first night in this board.
Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. And then I just want to take a little moment so you have the new people are familiar with the rest of the faces that are here helping make things happen. So I'll pass it back to Lily, the newest in our staff.
Lily, and I am assisting, Lily, and I am assisting clerk to Marissa, who is the clerk to our HRC.
And I'm Marissa, and I'm the board clerk for the HRC.
Okay. With those introductions, I know it's quick, and hopefully you'll have a chance to get to know us a little better as you serve. So thank you for serving and for your time.
Next on our agenda is election of officers for 2023-2024.
And we just want to kind of give everyone a brief update on who's eligible and who's not eligible according to the bylaws. Not that we do ask that you serve on the commission for a year before you're eligible for an office, which I think most people appreciate. You don't really want to start off serving as an officer. So we have four eligible members. Two are here tonight and two are not. So Commissioner Kuchel, who's serving as acting chair tonight, and Commissioner Brenda Mai, they are both eligible, and as you heard in our introductions. And then not present is Commissioner Kayla Tague Hurd and Commissioner Chris Grinter, who is currently our chair. Commissioner Grinter is only on his first term as chair, so he is eligible for a second term as chair, or he can serve as vice chair. We only elect 2 officers, the chair and vice chair. We, as staff, have served as the secretary in this, and there's no treasurer. That's the city finance CFO. So we don't have a treasurer like a lot of other clubs, but for our bylaws, what we need is a chair and a vice chair. And our vice chair at the last meeting had just informed, and we knew we were having elections now, but he took another position and was no longer able to serve. So that's why we don't have a vice chair currently. That said, with those introductions, I will turn it back over to Acting Chair Kuchel to open it up for nominations.
Okay.
I nominate
Commissioner
Commissioner
Kuchel.
Kuchel for vice. And I nominate Commissioner Grinter for chair.
Any well, we need seconds.
Second?
Perfect. Okay, all those in favor? Or, well, I guess we need to
In
have a
discussion.
discussion.
Any
Does anyone
discussion.
have a discussion? I mean, I would be willing to accept vice chair.
Okay.
So any,
Because they go for 2 years, correct?
Yeah, you can go for 2 consecutive years.
'Cause then next
And
year
actually,
you
there's
can
an
go up and
exception
I'll
if
follow you.
a fully nominated too. So typically what we have seen is 2 years and that's enough.
2 years in each position.
Yeah, 2 years consecutive in each position. You can serve 2 consecutive years. Bylaws, actually, we looked this up today. The bylaws say there's an exception if you have a full unanimous person vote, but most people have served two consecutive years is what is typical.
okay, so then we need to vote for, we could start with chair. That would be Chris Grinter. Is that how you say his name, Grinter? Would continue as chair. So all those in favor of that? Yay? Or hand up?
Yay.
Yay. All right. That was unanimous.
Okay, unanimous.
And then vice chair would be myself, Commissioner Kuschel. So all those in favor of that? Yay or
Yay.
Yay?
yay? All right, that passed too.
Okay, yay.
Unanimously.
So we'd ask that you go ahead and continue running the rest of the meeting.
Okay. Well, under administrative items, we are up for docket review.
Yes, and I will give a little bit more explanation tonight in this than we normally do, just because we have such a full house of new members and a participant online. So because of the confidentiality of this, we will talk in vague terms, and you will not see any names on the docket because this is obviously public record, but they're all pending investigations, and there's confidentiality in there. So if you ever have additional questions, we will try to keep it as vague and as we can for public meetings because they're all open and pending matters, so, or potential matters. Even if someone comes in and makes an inquiry, which the inquiries are rather new to this, we didn't always keep track of them, but we wanted to let people know. They potentially could still come back in, even though they didn't maybe follow through it at a time. So, or something else could happen, even though it may look like nothing at the time, it can always potential. So until a matter is actually finalized, it's considered confidential, and that's why we do it the way we do. So if you have any specific questions, you can always give us a call, and we'll see what we can do. But until it comes before you, this is the way we do it. But we like to give you at least a presentation of kind of what's going on. So before you have, we've color-coded each of the 3 areas that we do. We do employment, we investigate discrimination complaints in employment, in housing, and in public accommodations. So employment is the first, and it's blue. Anything blue is employment. We like to color code. In the inquiries, we've had 3. One of them was a no-show for an interview. I don't know if that one will come back in, but the 2 were originally intake interview. They're being processed as soon as they're signed. So next month, anticipate seeing those move into the open category. Unless something happens before then, they should be an open category. Since you're new, for the sake of the new individuals, what the process looks just briefly like is we do investigations. We get an inquiry. If it proceeds, we'll do an investigation. If they file the complaint, once we get to the point of completing an investigation, it comes to 3 commissioners that will be randomly selected, making sure you don't have a conflict for that particular case. And then you would get access to the case file and hear and give us back your decision, whether you find probable cause or no probable cause. So once it gets to the open, now a lot of things can happen between then and it actually getting there. We may find that someone quit, we conciliate, we settle, something happens. But when you will actually see that is if it gets to the open status, we've completed an investigation, and we're ready to have you make what we call a determination or a decision of probable cause finding or no probable cause. So at the next meeting, we anticipate that 2 of those cases will go up to open on the employment side. Moving on then, and they're both based on race, just as an FYI. That was the basis of race and national origin, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly. So anticipate that unless something happens and it settles before the next meeting, but I expect where it will be is open status. On housing, as a little side note, we have the contract with HUD, actually. We're one of 2 agencies in Kansas, or 2 cities in Kansas that actually act in HUD's stead. So when we're doing housing cases, we have an actual agreement with HUD, and we get paid for HUD to act in their stead for any housing cases that come in our area, unless there's a conflict or some other time. We don't have an agreement with the EEOC. We do not, it's not the same. It doesn't mean we don't investigate those, but there's not the same standards. We have a lot more on the housing cases. 1, we do a lot more of those, but 2 is we have more of a structure of expectations because of that agreement with HUD. We have to follow certain protocols. Our city chapter has to be written to be substantially compliant with the Fair Housing Act and meet HUD standards of that. So when you see it, we have a lot more housing cases. You will find this is the most active of all of our cases, and it's where we kind of have our strength, I would say, and we do have that agreement and a lot of HUD support. That being said, you'll find several closed cases. HUD's year, the way they do those cases, we do it on their year runs from July 1 through June 30th. So we kind of reset everyone's docket based on that. Instead of just doing the housing cases that way, we do them all that way. But it's because of the way we are judged on HUD. Our agreement is based on how many cases we close from July 1 through June 30th of their docket year. But you'll notice that's when we reset. We just reset. We had 3 conciliate here already, and those are closed and done. We have 4 open. It seems we've been very busy lately. We have a couple more possible. The one H422/23 is one that the Department of Justice took up. There are certain cases that they take up and ask us to put a hold on investigation. Not sure when they'll ever. It's been a year. We keep inquiring, but it doesn't count against us. We have a certain timeline with HUD that we have to do things. It's not counting against us. We made sure again, eventually, hopefully, they will take action. But the DOJ issues priorities every now and then, and sexual harassment in housing is a priority for the DOJ, and we had an incident that they wanted to take up and evaluate, and that was a year ago, and we still keep asking when we might know what we can do. It's really out of our hands. I have no authority to override the Department of Justice or HUD. So it is still pending. That is our old case. The rest of them are all, we've been working through most of them pretty quickly. I would anticipate maybe before the next meeting we might have one FIR. When we do the final investigative report, that would mean before the next meeting we might have one case that we would randomly select and have everyone go through. It will only be until everyone completes all of the training for new board members. It will only be those who have completed it. So sitting board members that we will go through. We won't ask you to do a case till you've completed the trainings. for your benefit and ours. I mean, I think it's a complicated enough area that you need to complete the training, which will start tonight at this study session and hopefully conclude by the next meeting and that study session. Okay, so what I anticipate is that one of them may close at that time, and we have a couple more that will probably be added to open. It's been a little busy lately, so I don't know if anyone has any particular questions they'd like to come up. I know those of you who are new, this is pretty vague. You might think of more as you go through the training. If you look at this and you see when we go through the trainings and the criteria for deciding cases and so forth. But I know it's kind of new, but I wanted to give that explanation a little bit about what we're providing to you. You can kind of look through the basis on this, what the basis for it is, what the status is, and the case numbers. That's pretty much all we'll provide in the reports. And I kind of let you know a heads up. I try to let you know a heads up if I think there's going to one close, because that means we'll go through a protocol to be trying to find 3 of you to hear that case. Public accommodations, we've been a little busier on this one lately. Most of the time, public accommodations does not, I want to clarify this, I think it's a good time. It doesn't just mean disability or openness, things that overlap with ADA and, being open and available. A public accommodation discrimination can be in any other area. It can be discrimination based on race, sexual harassment, any of the other normal areas. But I think we most commonly see it as access to a place. Someone doesn't have proper access, or they're not open on disability, they're not doing it. Disability is the number one area. Normally, in all of our cases, we encourage conciliation. HUD encourages it, and even in public accommodations and employment, we encourage conciliation. And in the public accommodation realm, we try really hard to work with the businesses and give them a heads up first. And we've been pretty successful that we don't have to go ahead and file a complaint. At least since I've been here, we've been successful. We set up meetings, we talk to them, and if they will fix it, an individual always has the opportunity to go ahead and file a lawsuit. They don't have to come through us through this investigation process, but our ultimate goal is to fix an issue, and that's what we try to do. So we really try to reach out to the business and say, hey, especially when it's something like a parking lot issue or a ramp issue or access issue. I do find a lot of individuals just don't know and don't realize what's required, or they may not, hasn't come up, no one said anything. So most of the time, I will say we have a pretty good track record of conciliating before it goes any further. So, which is another reason we added inquiries, because you wouldn't otherwise see it, because it doesn't come to an open status. We don't file them. And of course, we work with the individual filing the complaint, and if they would want something further, then we would do that. But just so you're aware, if you look at this, that's not going to be uncommon for you to see more inquiries and not actually have a case before you. Hopefully we get them fixed before, but I would say most of them, and people tend to confuse and assume that a public accommodation is the same thing as ADA, because most of them are accessibility, but it can be other reasons, and the other reasons may be not as easy to fix. But most of the public accommodation concerns or inquiries we get are someone doesn't have proper parking, they don't have access, they don't have wheelchair ramps, and so we try to work with them before we go to just filing. Are there any questions about that one? So far, we're still maintaining that track record of that.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. I prefer, as in everything, to settle it and fix the problem versus just making it into bringing a complaint and going through the process if we can fix the problem.
Okay. Thank you.
So that concludes my report.
Great. Okay, and next would be Fair Housing Seminar 2024 update.
Yes, we're excited. For those of you who are new, you may not have heard this, but you will be tired of hearing it by the time you're done, because I'm going to start reminding everyone. We do a fair housing seminar As part of that agreement with HUD, we have a duty to do outreach. And one of our biggest outreach we've done for almost, I was looking back, it's 15 or so years or more, way before any of us were in the department, that we've done this outreach. It's a fair housing seminar during April, because that's, if you didn't know, Fair Housing Month, and they celebrate it, and HUD has a lot of things, there are a lot of trainings going on. We do a one-day seminar that we put on, and it's not free, but it's pretty minimal costs. It has certifications for legal. People can get their CLE credits for it. We have social worker credit for it, and we have realtors credit for it. So for $30, it's a pretty good fee, and you get lunch. And most people that need those kinds of certifications can't beat that deal. We invite all board members to attend. You're able to attend. If you need the credits, the fee would be applicable, but if you don't need the credits, we just ask if you can help, or let us know, though, for head count and stuff. But this commission is unpaid in service, but if you want to attend and see what it's about, we do encourage that participation. We'll be asking more and letting you know. We have moved it to always be the last Friday in April, so that people know. This will be our second year being consistent with that, but that way we can announce, we can get the reservation. We do it at the Topeka, or the Tony's Pizza Event Center, TPAC. TPAC's in Topeka too, I'm sorry about that, but TPAC in Salina, Tony's Pizza Event Center. For those of you maybe around a while, maybe formerly known as the Bicentennial Center. But that is where we hold it very consistently, and we're trying to be consistent so that we can build up that it's the last Friday in April and you don't want to miss it. So we hope you'll mark it on your calendars. We'll be asking for more volunteers from the board. We have a booth there for this board and our other board that this office sponsors. So it's a good opportunity to try and recruit new board members for this, and educate and be with the public. And it's a pretty fun event. Registration's at 8, and we try and be done by 4, so everyone can clean up as far as vendors and booths, and be done by 5. But varies a little bit, but 8 to 5 between those hours. But just so you know, we'll give you more information. We have one speaker confirmed, but our big working on right now is getting the speakers and the presenters and coordinating that. And Lily's done a great job starting, but we are just in the early process. So next time, she may have hopefully a report on some speakers for you.
Great.
But mark your calendars
Yes.
for April 26th. You may
April
get sick of me
26th.
hearing it, but every time I can say it, and we are on TV and live, so every time I can say it, it's some more promotion. We want to grow the event.
Okay. Looking forward to that. Okay, next in our agenda is preliminary discussions items, and there's none listed. And then on to unfinished or other business, and there is none listed. So then we would move to public forum.
And we do have one individual participating online. I'm not sure if she has any comments. We have no one, for the record, we have no one in the audience or at the podium or anything wishing to speak. I don't know if the participant online wants to make any comments. I'm going to take,
There.
Nope, no comments. I'm just in the learning process.
okay, thank you for participating.
Sure.
And so I think there's no public forum.
Right, no public forum. Okay, so moving right along to adjournment. We will take note there of our next upcoming regular meeting dates are as follows. So I would need a motion for adjournment.
Motion we adjourn?
Thank you.
A
Second? Second. All those in favor? Yay?
Yay.
Yay. We are adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you for learning.
Yeah.